published by HarperCollins, was Firebrand, produced by Priyanka Chopra and released on Netflix in February. So it's nice to be called as Firebrand Aruna. So thank you for joining us. Yeah, so feel free to clap, huh? Feel free to clap. So no invitations for clapping. So let's invite our third panelist. Manohar Kabir. Yeah, let's clap while you're representing. Thank you, Manohar. Manohar is the outreach director at the Indian Documentary Foundation, ID, that the right people and organization to professional. Having worked on TV shows and documentaries for over 5 years in the cities of Mumbai and Pune, Manohar identifies his mission to create knowledge resources and content promoting civic action across mediums and platforms. Motivated to work at the confluence of education, media and politics, Manohar dreams of running a community space around citizen engagement. Thank you, Manohar. I don't think so I can say a thank you, right? But thank you anyway. Well, Harish is the co-founder and chief functionary of Concerned Men, working since 1993 to stop and prevent gender-based violence on women. Harish has done his master's in social work from Tata Institute of Social Science and has been engaging and mentoring thousands of adolescent boys and young men to communicate with peers on healthy relationships, masculinity, and sexuality-related matters. Currently, he is also a consultant and trainer to corporates, universities, colleges, and NGOs across India on prevention of sexual harassment at workplace and other gender matters. So thank you, Harish. Ever since you walked into this room, ever since you have been invited to walk into this room, ever since, it can also mean the 20 minutes beautiful film that Pratik and that Pratham and Kashish has prepared. Okay, so that they have prepared. So anything that's alive for you on the topic, anything that you would want to say.
All right, so good afternoon to all of you. My name is Björn Holmgren, Swedish Consulate General in Mumbai. Thank you for this opportunity to be here, and also thank you for Mava for having us as your supporters and partners. I only want to say wow after this amazing 20 minutes movie. There's so many relevant and important topics coming up. It's difficult to pick up just anyone. From the consulate side, we've been working on sorry, I just lost the word. Since the beginning of the year, we've been working with Swedish dads and Indian dads, so basically how people are perceived as parents. We are participating in this forum. We will be participating in the Kashish Queer Film Festival in June. We can promote that one as well, second week in June. And by end of the year, we hope to continue to work. So so the consulate consider these very important topics and questions, and we would like to engage with these questions and to continue to engage with this audience. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. First of all, I want to acknowledge the film. Parth and Kashish, excellently put together, very, very well done. Like as an editor, basically, I can tell you, putting material like that must have taken whatever it took, but very well done. And as far as Mava is concerned and Harish, I've known him for like, 25 years, almost when you began, almost the early years. And it's just, I just want to say such a big thank you, really, the work you're doing. But we need, I don't know how many more 100,000 Mavas to really, but it's a big, great beginning. And This was a very good thing that you started this festival thing and reaching out to people, because one thing is talking to them and one thing is showing a film. And you know, the audiovisual medium is so powerful, it kind of reaches people where sometimes a conversation may not. And picking up a conversation after that definitely deepens and provokes people to think and figure out for themselves, like, who are they and what are they doing. I mean, you have to reflect. So I think it's wonderful what you're doing, yeah, we just need to just spread this work, just like that. I want everyone sitting here really to take back this and do whatever you can, because this is very, very critical, I think, for the human race, I should say, for people to not just exist or survive, but to have harmonious relationships, you know, understand each other really. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for really beginning with that question, and as Aruna rightly pointed out, the two things I wanted to share at the beginning, one of them was to really take this 20 minutes film back to my parents and show them, to kind of facilitate those conversations which we find very difficult. And I have a younger sister who's about to get married, my mother is not literate, so it's often difficult to find the right vocabulary to speak to them and how to raise those questions. So maybe these kind of films and other films which are part of the film festival could facilitate that. And the second thing is, I want to begin with an acknowledgement as we were seeing that film and as I walked into this room, is that I also don't remember when was the last time I cried. And it's really something very true. It's not something we should take it for granted. And we should create more spaces where, like, Bombay is already space congested. Youngsters stay with more other boys in a shared space. So maybe breaking those masculine spaces and just asking this question, that when was the last time you cried, would really open up a lot of more possibilities for them. And further, of course, these kind of festivals and bringing them to the various workshops and other spaces which Mawa tries to create could be smaller steps in which we really can move towards civic action. Otherwise, we know that this is not really a very recent development. The fight for gender has been there for so long, but it's something perhaps is missing is on our individual paths. And everybody tries to change policy, become researchers, do PhDs, but is this immediate action at the place where we are? And how can we enrich those spaces? Maybe the another way could be to, which I have been starting to do, especially after moving to Bombay. Before that, I really did not have female friends for a long time. It was only, I think, 21 or 22 after moving to college that we started interacting with women on a more friendly level. I come from a small town which is about 3 hours away from here. It's called Boisa, and it was a very different space. So maybe going to movies with women who help you see the other perspectives, what was wrong in the film. So deliberately, not just going in male ghettos, but also in a mixed group. I think asking for a transgender friend at this point might be a difficult thing, but going for movies together with female friends, female colleagues, and then having your own discussions, hearing to their perspectives, what they thought about the film and what perhaps was wrong according to them, is really a kind of a collaboration at a personal level, where when we try to fight with our own internal conflicts and we miss a lot of things which are wrong within us, or maybe not by us but the larger system which we are part of, these kind of smaller collaborations can really break the ground for us. And similar things can be implemented. When I spoke to Harish yesterday about the discussion today, I've been speaking to certain people, because really the perspectives of the community are their own. It's not really easy to understand their reality and their problems without really being with them. So I tried speaking to some friends, I read something, and it's really interesting that this kind of a panel discussion is opening up an opportunity for somebody like me to explore and engage the subject with otherwise may not be that convenient. I mean, there's a lot of conversation on social media, but still, I mean, it's difficult to find those kind of spaces. So even if there are spaces, they are inaccessible in various terms. Like, there should be more regional content, there should be content which is more palatable for people. So I think in the age of where each one of us is a content creator, we need to take charge and create our own content and conversations. And ultimately, the business of content is a thing of supply demand. If you start demanding something, if you start demanding this kind of answer to a particular question, the makers and the content creators would respond to that need. And I think that's something at an individual level I'll try to do more rigorously after this. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara, for sharing a very personal story and along with it, the action step.
You are aware, but good pitch is a venue where you have different stakeholders coming together and pitching up for the right kind of film, which normally wouldn't get a film. So I found last year when I attended that event in Mumbai, like different innovative ideas were being tried by young filmmakers for which normally you wouldn't find support. And his area is also civic engagement and engagement, outreach to various audiences, reaching out through films. So I'm really glad that he is able to come, because we were earlier planning to have Neeraj Ghaiwan, the filmmaker of Juice and the one who produced and directed films like Masan. So he was to come, but he had a last minute, there's a shoot for the next 3 days. He was held up. So, and Manoj was telling that I'm a youngster, but I find that he's honest and he's sharing, whatever insights and perspective he has, and I think that is very valuable to us. We have Asiya, who is joining shortly. She's gone for a training from 8 till 2. She's a person based in Hyderabad, but come to Mumbai and often travels and is also part of our team. So she'll be joining shortly. I think we can go to the next round.
Yes. Thanks, Anish. So, we'll be multilingual as well, and we'll catch the emotions for sure. So Aruna, I would like to start with you. So I know that you are on the advisory board of MAVA for a long time, and as you rightly said, you've been from the inception of MAVA. And
yes, initially I just knew him, but many years ago when I made a film called Rihai. That was released in 90, and it was about the repressed sexuality of women, and people were like horrified and aghast, some of them, like how could a woman make such a film? And then there were other people who said, oh, she's a voice for us, voice for women, and somehow that whole thing got created, and I got myself firmly entrenched. Yes, this is what I want to do and this is how I want to go for. And around that time, after that, I met Harish, and though I was not actually, we are engaging in similar conversations, actually. Though it's much later that we began to collaborate and, but that's amazing, because that was a time when I think all of us were thinking of, oh, next, this cannot go on. The shackles of patriarchy were so strong, and women were struggling to find their space. But one thing I realized, I must admit, that initially I was doing a lot of activism for empowering women, and there came a point when we realized we're talking to the women, we're not talking to the men. And they're equal partners and we must talk to them, and that was the part that Harish was doing, actually talking to a lot of men. And then we realized, yes, we have to talk to both men and women and create a new equation for themselves. Yeah, we have to, that's what, yeah.
yes. And, sorry, please go ahead.
No, yeah, you say something.
So, just taking this further to your work. So, we would like to hear as an audience, in terms of how do you find this initiative of MAVA, and I know you've answered it. I would also like to ask you that you're India's first woman technician. How's it for you? And I also, I had actually made notes about two things when I saw Firebrand, and I like two statements that I read. Is about how much punishment is enough. I read it somewhere on the net, about, and you can give the audience a little story about Firebrand, and also, and very beautifully you answer this question, and how does it relate to MAVA's work? So I know there are a couple of questions, it's fully loaded, Aruna.
Yes,
but,
I know that's,
yes.
Yeah. So, sorry, the first question was...
So the first question was, is your initiative here? Mawaka,
Yeah.
about the film festival.
That's right.
That how do you feel?
वो तो बहुत ही ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि जैसे मैंने कहा in my first earlier sharing that ये film festival के द्वारा जो कर रहे हैं अभी as a film festival is very important because लोगों को ना बात करना अलग है और actually film दिखा के खुद को एक समझना और understand करना एक बात है, उसके बाद जब बात करेंगे तो there is already a space created. You know, because we react, human beings react emotionally and to a film, mostly emotion comes first and then intellect maybe comes later. ऐसा क्यों है? Why is this not like this? But initially अगर कुछ है तो we react and we also like to identify. तो जब picture देख रहे तो identify with some character or the other or some situation or the other. So you get involved, provided of course the film is engaging enough. But ये मामा का ये जो नया जो है तो पहले भी बहुत स्ट्रीट प्लेस वेरी वेरी इम्पोर्टेंट आई थिंक दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन इटसेल्फ बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है बिकॉज एज आई सेड एंड ये पेट्रियार्की इज अ किलर टेलिंग यू इट्स अ किलर इट्स लाइक
Relationships, identity, self-esteem in young people. She also supports organizations including higher education institutions and film industry with implementing sexual harassment prevention policies and practice. Thank you for joining us. बहुत छोटा सा but impactful video, 20 minutes about the film festival, and we just took our first what's alive, you know, while we saw it, after we saw it, so or anything around the work of Mama. So we did that, and we're just taking a question each.
Okay.
So I'll come to you last because I know you can catch up on your breath.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So let's move on to Bajon. So I was also looking it up that Sweden ranks third in the world in the UN Gender Inequality Index, making it one of the least unequal countries. That's so good to hear. That you have been here from 2018 August, and it's short enough and yet long enough to experience our culture.
It's on, right? Okay. Yeah, so thanks for that question. So the work with Bollywood has actually begun only very recently. Bollywood never thought that they need to do work on diversity, inclusion and prevention of sexual harassment until precisely 5 or 6 months ago when Me Too hit. So Bollywood's response has pretty much been reactive to Me Too, but I would like to say that many of them are now really doing it from the heart, and they're trying to put in practices and measures in place which are going to definitely have long-term repercussions. So all the workshops that we do with the few Bollywood production houses, we begin off with, you know, how do you prevent sexual harassment, what mechanisms do we need to put in place. But as the discussion grows deeper, the questions are around how can we change scripts, how can we have more women directors, how can we have more directors and script writers from diverse backgrounds. How do we include Dalits? So we have to stop this shyness of, oh, let's not talk about caste. How can we not talk about caste? It's staring us in the face all the time, whether we want to talk about it or not. So why not actually track, something that the previous panelists said, data is very important. So let's track how many directors, producers, screenplay writers we have from different backgrounds. And these discussions have started. Like one of the questions just this morning, I was doing a workshop, and one young woman asked me that, you know, I do a lot of screenplay writing, and we work on a lot of these, you know, the Saas Bahu kind of serials, the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law kind of TV shows. And she says, often I want to give feedback in the room that, you know, why don't we have slightly different women characters? Why must all women characters be these stereotypical, you know, the vamp and the good woman versus the bad woman? And she says, I'm always shut down by saying, oh, the audience, this is what the audience wants. This is what works, this is what sells. So I think this is something we have to start questioning. So I think as viewers, we all play a very big role. Be very careful about which directors you like, what kind of movies you watch, what kind of responses to that movie you put down on social media. Because whatever you write and whatever you think and whatever dialogues you all and we all are engaging in is going to ultimately reach back. So if we start saying that no, our appetite for better cinema has increased, we want to watch different stuff, we want to watch intersectional work which is nuanced, which depicts complexity, which is about people from different walks of life. We just don't want to see those typical, typical scenes in typical movies. I think Bollywood is quite ready to embrace and to sort of engage with very new and different sort of content, but we also have to support them by giving that right push. Now, how many people would go and watch a certain film with this cult actor who flexes his muscles and hardly even acts but is known as the superhero? How many of us would actually go and watch a movie like Masan or, a movie which deals with a slightly more complex topic? So let's also begin by asking ourselves those questions. And coming to what you talked about, of course, a big part of sexual harassment is not being able to deal with rejection. So almost 80% of the sexual harassment cases we see where one person is making sexual or romantic overtures on the other, and the other is not interested, and then this person is just not able to. How can someone say no to me? I'm the apple of my mommy's eye, and I am this great gift to. I'm so good. I'm so kind. I'm so I'm so caring. How can someone not love me? So I think this male entitlement, which you see a lot of, sadly, and it is a result of conditioning for sure. But yes, rejection, consent, these are terms that we really have to engage with much more. Women have to speak up about what they want, how they want to be propositioned. At one workshop, there's this whole discussion on sexual harassment happening and all the inappropriate things that men do when they proposition women. And somebody just asked the question that, so how do women want to be flirted with? And that was I thought that was a lovely gear change, because earlier even I was being very negative, that what is this? Men always get this wrong and they're so stupid. And when somebody asked this question, that okay, so we've talked for 4 hours about what we don't like, let's now talk about what we like and how we want men to flirt with us. And that was such a beautiful session. And most of the answers was, I want them to talk about my work, about my values, I want them to talk to me about what interests me, I want them to take part in my life, I want them to be interested in me as a person, not as someone to have sex with or someone who will just do their work. So I think that was, it was just so interesting to hear both sides. I'm a big fan of workshops, dialogues with all sorts of people, diverse people in the room. Let's talk it out. Let's openly discuss what we dislike and also what we like, without making this men versus women kind of thing.
What about this event?
Okay, hello, my name is Björn Holmgren. I work for the Swedish Consulate General in Mumbai. We've been very happy to participate in this panel discussion today. We're very happy to see the different topics coming up. We're also very interesting topics being discussed today.
So, MAVA, or Men Against Violence and Abuse, is India's first organization of sensitive, concerned men working to stop violence against women by engaging men and boys. And we have been working for the last 26 years using different media methods and out-of-the-box methods. So, I came up with this idea of a 2-day festival on gender and sexuality. From 10 to 6, you show different films followed by conversations with the youngsters. And so the idea was this 2-day festival will go to different cities and districts across the country. And this was my second edition which we had today. So last year 2017-18 was the first festival called Samabhav, which means equanimity. Samabhav means samyak drushti se, sabhi genders ko dekhna. So that was our thing, that take a pause, relook, because people are able to connect with what is shown in the films and what is in real life. So you have different people from the sector, development sector, academic, media. They come and interact with the youths while who are watching the films. That was the whole purpose.
Just elaborate more on Consulate of Sweden's involvement with the whole festival, the Samabhav festival. Like, even Ulrika was there as a spokesperson on one of the events, so just elaborate more on this.
So the so the Consular General, as part of our work on gender equality, we actively promote and we actively support this film festival. The consulate has been working earlier this year also with different gender stereotypes, for example with the Swedish dads, Indian dads, where we portray through a traveling photo exhibition different ways of fathers portrayed with their families or children. By participating in today's panel discussion, we're also trying to show the different measures that have been taken in Sweden to promote gender equality and also gender diversity.
So you can elaborate more on the response from people after the whole movie festival. You have traveled to 13 cities all across the. So what was the different responses?
So, we had a very encouraging response from the participants who were largely university and college students. Some were from social organizations, young filmmakers, and even lay public. So, I find that the film festival gave a nice platform for the youngsters to open up, share their innermost concerns and anxieties, their thoughts on gender, the contemporary gender happenings in the country. So they were able to relate, they were able to talk, they were able to debate various issues related to gender and sexuality, some of which are very taboo topics in our country. So I find the film festival is first of its kind in India, where talking about different genders and their intersectionality, that was something which we were able to achieve. And people were able to think about the larger picture, that how they have been looking at the gender binaries up till now, and that how we need to break those binaries at an own individual level and also at a wider societal level, collective level. So I find that whenever we went to universities and colleges, there were youngsters who talked about their earlier biases and prejudices which they had about the other gender. And they also talked about how in smaller ways they are trying to break those notions about masculinity and about femininity. So I find that it gave a larger, safer space for the youths to come out and ventilate. And especially the experience of mine has been that in the hinterlands and rural areas, there are dearth of such spaces. So you find that healthy interaction between the genders is not encouraged. And our festival tried to at least break the existing approaches, where the faculty and the teachers were encouraged to bring in their students, and they could enable them to intersperse, intermingle, and collectively talk about the issues that affect them. I find it was a great changer in their mindset.